Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's so great to have you all with me on the Highway to Scale. It's a podcast in which we explore the ins and outs of business success and where we cover topics like validating business ideas, exploring different management styles, building products, launching them on the market, raising capital, and scaling your business. Now, before we get to the main part, please consider subscribing and get in touch with me if you want to be a guest on the show. In today's episode, I'm joined by Mathijs, who is the CEO of Moteefe. It's a company that upgrades, automates, and streamlines the way you sell custom merch online. Moteefe was started in 2014. They raised more than $25 million, and with more than 5,000 retailers on the platform, they are now spearheading the global adoption of on-demand production in retail. In this podcast, Mathijs will tell us more about the importance of looking at your customers as partners and why building a business always revolves around testing and learning. So let's cut the intro and let's jump right into the episode to see what Mathijs can teach us about building a business. Mathijs, welcome to the show.
It's great to be here, Dorian. Thank you for having me.
Before we dig deeper into your business, could you tell me just what Moteefe is all about? Can you tell me what your role as a CEO is?
Yeah, absolutely. Moteefe, we launched Moteefe in the market in 2016, and we really saw obviously the rise of e-commerce, an opportunity to provide an easier solution in the hands of entrepreneurs and influencers worldwide who are building up social media assets, looking to monetize. They want to get into e-commerce. Yet it's quite a lot of work, right? You got to build up your store pages, manage your payments, your supply chain, your fulfillment, customer support. And that's why we launched Moteefe, to bring a turnkey solution where we basically provide everything to our users and they can focus on the creation and the promotion of the products, but everything else is done by us. It's turnkey, it's free to use, and people can sell globally, and we'll produce everything on demand. So after orders are generated by the influencer or the entrepreneur. And the company's currently around 100 people. My role as CEO has grown from being a founder in the early years, testing the idea and getting traction all the way up to now managing obviously 100 colleagues and making sure that as an organization we deliver the best value to our clients.
Yeah, I like this thing you said. Everything is on demand. This is one of the things that I really like about your company, and it looks to me as it is a grand benefit for everyone who wants to, sell their merchandise.
Yeah, absolutely. It's it takes literally a minute to push a product out to your audience, and again, there's no need to buy upfront inventory, right? So a couple of years ago, in the old models, you have to design the products, you have to find a supplier, you have to put inventory in, and then you have to guess the colors and the sizes you'd be selling. And you'd always get it wrong, right? So you're always going to be left with stock that you're not going to be selling. Now, so that model is time consuming and expensive. And it's also just not good for the environment at the end of the day. So flip that on its head in a world where you're putting digital creations on your store of products that you want to sell. And when the order is generated, reproduce that item in the same color, the same size. And you know what? Reproduce it as close to your buyer as possible. So if you're an influencer in let's say in London, in the UK, and you're selling in the US, that's where your buyer is, we'll produce there. If your buyer is in Brazil, we'll produce there. So also quicker about getting the product into the hands of your customer, and obviously reducing carbon footprint as we get along, which obviously is really important.
Of course, yeah. So let's go back to the start of Moteefe. You founded the company with a couple of your co-founders. So what would you say are the biggest benefits of having, a team instead of just being a solo businessman?
I think, every entrepreneurial journey has its moments where you benefit from having people around you, to share the highs and the lows with. So I think that's first and foremost is the benefit, knowing that you're not alone in it. You got a team of people around you that you trust, and you share the upside and the downside with. It's just more fun. And I think the second thing also is it's a lot of work, and there's a lot of different things that you need to be good at in order to make a business work. There's financials, there's technology, there's supply chain, and when it comes to Moteefe. And and it's impossible for anyone to know everything by him or herself. So being able to have people around you that bring different capabilities and expertise and experience within the team and help build up some complementary skills is really important.
Great, great. So is that the way you build the rest of your company? When it comes to new hires, do you always look for people who can add on to the company, or do you like that approach of being a cultural fit company where everyone needs to fit into the same mold?
I think that's a bit of a transition over time. So when you're just starting out, let's say you're 10, 20 people. And things happen, right? Events that you don't plan for, they happen and you need to respond to. So I think it's helpful if you have people that have that entrepreneurial mindset that whilst they might focus on something, they have the agility to switch to another task if that's what the business needs at that point in time. So you're always looking for that entrepreneurial drive and just getting things done mentality. And I think that's something we always look for in our colleagues still to this point in time. As you get larger, your organization, you need to specialize a bit more. You're looking for people to own specific outcomes. But still, that entrepreneurial agility is something that we'd always still like to find within our people because, e-commerce is growing and booming and you want to be able to react quickly. And if you have to hire every time you want to respond to something, you're going to lose out. So it's a bit of both.
Okay. So when it comes to the industry that Moteefe is in and that Moteefe covers, over the last couple of years, there has been a major boom when it comes to social media influencers, and brands who are looking to push their products online. What do you see as some of the benefits of having strong social media presence and that industry booming as a whole?
Yeah. So obviously, if you think about social media from an e-commerce perspective, I think there are a couple of implications, which is both on how we, entrepreneurs, retailers, brands, promote our products and engage with our buyers, as well as how buyers consume ideas to purchase new things. And I think social media as a channel to e-commerce is growing really quickly. And that means we're in different stages of the consumer funnel, right? So awareness, as a consumer, we're discovering new brands online. We're finding new products in social media. So that's often the first new touch point where we get introduction to products and brands. And that's something that brands and retailers and influencers obviously play into by building up social media audiences, followings, and that they can engage with much more closely, much more dynamically. And that provides new e-commerce opportunities. You see that social media platforms are really investing in this. Facebook, Instagram, everybody's investing in making e-commerce checkouts within social media happening quicker and in a more consumer-friendly way. So that's really where the world is moving to from that area. How we as Moteefe respond to that is, social media is so quick, right? I mean, you're scrolling through a news feed and things is just happening. And it's really that instantaneous nature is important. So we sometimes like to think that Moteefe is as fast as social media. It takes 30 seconds to launch, a new product for those who know how to navigate the platform. So the moment something happens, the moment something gets virality, you can respond to that and immediately put a product out there to monetize that and to engage with the customers. Some years ago, that would have taken weeks, if not months, to do that. And now you can do it right within minutes. And that's a big response to how social media has changed our life as both consumers and retailers.
Exactly. And what I like the most about one of the things you said, you are not just a platform, but you are a partner. You don't offer your users just the opportunity to put their merchandise on the store, but you also give them analytics. You help them analyze trends, see how could they grow their companies too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, first and foremost, we are obviously a technology platform that is solving problems for our users, but we are not a faceless platform. We work extremely close with our partners, whether they're brands and retailers all the way up to influencers. And everybody has their own success manager. And that success manager will be on calls with you daily, weekly, monthly, whatever you prefer, to discuss strategies, to bring insights that we know that are working in specific segments of the market on the platform about how to promote products, how to price products. It's a mix of analytics and experience that we like to feed into our partners, because at the end of the day, if our partners win, we win. And And so we put a lot of effort in there. We have communities like a group on Facebook run around, which is called Moteefe, where we have weekly live streams to share lots of data and insights and really engage our partners who are using our platform to build up their own businesses and help them succeed.
In 2020, you got a quite large investment. So can you tell me what that process looked like?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I think the first question always to ask is whether raising investment is the right thing to do and whether it's the right time to do it as well. And obviously, as an entrepreneur who you own the company, you're always giving up a little piece of the pie of the equity when you raise investment. Yeah. So, and that's what you must be conscious for. So for us, raising investments, it's all about the fact that, well, we know the market is moving quickly. And if we raise investment, external capital, we have the firepower to do more quicker. And that was really the decision for us to raise investment, and alongside it, obviously get a partner into the company, as an investor who can help us open up new doors, help strengthen some of the processes and the teams and the capabilities we have in our organization as we scale globally, because we're running quite a complicated business. In terms of what that money then enables us to do, it enables us to invest. It enables us to invest quicker into our technology, into our team, into our capabilities, to really provide a better experience ongoingly for our partners. And again, it comes back to what you said, right, Dorian? If we provide a better experience, better analytics, better technology, deeper integrations into social media to our partners, they will succeed quicker and better as well. And again, coming back to the win-win. So this money is really used to continuously invest in technology. We're working with very larger brands and retailers now as well, where it's funny because a couple of years ago, the whole on-demand e-commerce model was adopted by individual entrepreneurs like myself, who are agile, who can move quickly, who want to respond to that trend of social media. And now we're seeing that larger brands and retailers, they're also thinking, well, key trends like personalization that requires a new supply chain capability and a new e-commerce capability are things that they want to jump on. They want to respond to the social media opportunities. So we started to work closely with some really large brands and retailers and helping them get on the on-demand e-commerce learning curve as well. And that's really exciting. So that's where we'll put a lot of the energy and focus alongside continue to serve our customers and partners that we have already.
Yeah, it's just as you said, you're scrolling through your social media feed and you see new trends, new things that you can jump onto. And big corporations are usually very slow. So it's kind of natural they want to partner with you. So are there any plans for you to, expand even bigger into some other industries other than, merchandising, which has been a sort of a core for Moteefe now?
I think merchandising is, there's two sides of this. One, first of all, the market size, right? If you think about any high street retailer, 80% of the volume is in general apparel types of products. So that's where the market is. So for me, it's really exciting from an opportunity as well as from a sustainability impact perspective that we can have to help move that market along from upfront production into on demand, right? And whether that's influencers, entrepreneurs, or retailers, that's really exciting. I think also the second thing is that is the underlying technology for on-demand production has focused on first, right? The market is now shifting or progressing more into other products, other production technologies that are turned from bulk volume production into on-demand, right? I know there's some great new technology coming out. I think it's going to hit the market within a year or two, where every piece of apparel that we wear right now can be made on demand within seconds, locally. Wow. So imagine you're a consumer in Germany. You want to buy a sweater. It's going to be made for you on demand within Germany. You're going to put the order in. It's just a piece of fabric at that point in time. And it's not just the printing, but it's actually the whole product is going to be made on demand for you. To me, that is exciting. That's where this industry is moving. And we want to be the company that is help driving adoption of that technology. Right? Just having technology that can produce it is one thing. But as a retailer or an influencer, you'd also need the right e-commerce environment and the right capabilities to bring that to the market. And that's where we come in.
I would just like to talk about some of the challenges that you had to face while you built Moteefe into a large company as it is today. What were some of the things that were the hardest to you on that path?
I mean, it's very hard. It's in many ways. So I'm a first-time founder, entrepreneur, CEO myself. I have an ex-consulting background, and so I definitely wasn't aware of how tough it would be actually, and it's tough in many different ways. So obviously, on a personal note, it's you're working 6-7 days a week, 15-hour days, and you need a personal support environment that is understanding and is enabling and is supporting you. And I think that's really, really important. And I'm fortunate enough to have that in place. But otherwise, that is a challenge, obviously. And because it's tough, and often, as especially I think in my role, it's natural to take a lot of the burden on yourself. And,
of course.
and to try to protect the team from some of the challenges, right? And I think that's something you get better in over time as well, as a first-time founder and CEO myself. But that's definitely on a personal and emotional level just been tough, and you got to be quite resilient to be able to deal with that. I think the other challenge is just the need to surround yourself with the right people. People that are more experienced, that are better at specific areas, and that can then have that cultural fit to all work together. And how do you do that with a company that transitions quickly, that grows globally, and that is almost different every 6 months? That is the hardest part. So over time, more and more of my focus is really on how do we as a company acquire the best colleagues, the best talent, and make them work together well, knowing that we're a remote first company. So we have colleagues all over the world, across the UK, Lisbon, Czech, Germany, the US, Brazil, Vietnam, Russia, and that is really, really important. But yeah, so those would be the two of the biggest ones, I guess.
You expanded into new locations with new team members from all around the world. What were some of the challenges of that process?
I think it's the reason why we did it, because we are a global company. So we work with retailers and entrepreneurs, influencers from every part in the world, and they can sell to customers in every part of the world. And we have production partners all over the world as well. So we want to be local in the markets that matter to us. And so that's why we did it. How you get it to work is of course tough. Time zones are really difficult to manage. Sometimes you're +6 and 7, and it's that is sometimes in itself a logistical challenge. We have regular company town hall meetings, and you're always going to be looking for that slot in the day where everybody, regardless whether you're in Vietnam, Brazil, Russia, or the UK, are able to join easily on a time that sort of works. And I think it's just over communicating, investing a lot, and also making sure that the links between the teams and across the layers of the organizations work well together. And it's about putting the systems and the tools in place to make it easier for people. But it's an ongoing focus and effort. And as a result of what's currently happening in the world with the spread of COVID-19, we've made that firm decision. We're a remote first company, and so we're continuously putting out the building blocks that enhances the ability for our colleagues, regardless of where you are in the world, to be able to communicate easy with your colleague on the other end of the world, basically. Thankfully, there's so much technology and systems in place right now to help and accommodate for that. But yeah, it's really about making sure there's the right cultural fit, regardless of where you are in the world, the passion to help our partners win, and then putting the systems in place around it.
Now, while we're still on the topic of challenges, what were some of the maybe mistakes that you did as a CEO?
I think the things and I guess that's normal for many people, is regret the most is it's not the things we tried that didn't work, but more the things I wanted to do and didn't do quick enough. And those are the hardest ones for me, where whether it's a gut feeling, whether it's confirmed by the data that there's something you must do, and then you're waiting too long. You miss the opportunity to do it quicker. And that can be due to many things, right? Focus, where do we put our colleagues and who's working what at which point in time. So those are the things I regret the most. The things I wish I knew I should have done earlier or sooner.
Yeah.
It's not the things that we've done and didn't work. No regrets there. It's all about learning and testing.
Now that you mentioned, the gut feeling and the data, how would you describe your management style, your decision-making style? Is it more of a gut feeling, I think this is going to be a good move? Or is it, okay, I see hard data, this is what we need to do?
I think, as a company progresses and you get access to more and more data, obviously you want to become far more data-led in your decision-making. And that's a mix of hard data, facts, numbers that we distill out of the platform, mixed with qualitative data to sometimes understand the why and the rationale behind data points being the way they are. My style would then be to, all of our colleagues is to form a hypothesis. Well, okay, what is the most likely reason why it is what it is? And that could be either an outcome which is better than expected or an outcome which is behind where we want it to be. It's all about forming, engaging with our customers quickly, forming ideas and hypotheses and testing them. So rather than boiling the ocean and looking for every potential scenario of what could have happened leading to a specific outcome of a number, it's about following your instinct, your gut feel, form a hypothesis, confirm it quickly, and move on. I think that's trying to keep us focused.
Okay, great. So what would be some of your main advice for, starting entrepreneurs, people who are just trying to launch their companies? What would be your go-to tips for, growing a successful business?
I think there's three. One, it's focus on the market and user, and make sure that your customers drive your key decisions, whether it's about product, technology, or support, or whatever that means. Your customers got to be driving your strategy and your focus. As long as it's the right customer to be serving long term, right? The right segment of the customer. I think that's the key, and making sure that the whole organization understands the why we're doing things. Why is this important to our customers? Why does this matter? Why is this going to make a difference? It doesn't matter which part of the organization you're in. You need to be aware, and that becomes harder and harder. But that's something that we're really focused on. I think the second thing is surround yourself with people early on that that complement your personality, your skills, your experience, and it's sometimes, especially I think as a founder early on, tough to let go. But
exactly.
It's really tough, right? Because it's your baby, but there comes a point in time really quickly, probably for many of us, including myself, to hand specific areas of the business over to some people who just done it before, and it's helped drive focus and bring quality in terms of the work. So that's
you want to micromanage things, but you shouldn't.
You shouldn't, and you got to force yourself to let go. You got to force yourself, and letting go doesn't mean don't care. No, it means the opposite. It means caring so much that you are aware that someone else with full focus and experience can just do a much better job.
Of course, exactly.
And that's, but it's something to always remind yourself of, and I think the third thing is just you got to do what you love. It's it's tough. You got to build up resilience, and if you don't come in every morning in the day and being proud of why you're here, what you're doing, what you're working on, where we're trying to get to long term, it's gonna be hard to maintain motivation at to the level where you need it to be. You're coming into the office Saturday morning, 8 a.m. and sometimes you're like, why am I here? And you gotta enjoy the work, and it's not all fun, of course not, but just keep sight of the big picture.
That's an amazing thing you just said. You basically, it boils down to this: you got to love what you do. I have just one more question before we end. What is the future of Moteefe? What are some of your next steps? What do you want to do with the company?
I mean, the future for us is, we are the e-commerce platform for on-demand, on-demand production, fulfillment, supply chain, but also e-commerce in general. We want to be the platform that enables retailers of all sizes to respond to their clients' and customers' needs quick. And we are just at the beginning. We're at the beginning of this on-demand revolution. And it's about continuing leading the way and making it easy for retailers and our clients to be jumping on that opportunity, making the most of it, is where we're going to be investing our time. So I know that many industries traditionally remain not digitalized as much as they should.
Yeah.
Many large retailers, they need to respond to the changing e-commerce landscape. They need to be more agile, but internal processes and systems and cultures don't always support that. And that's where we're going to be focusing our efforts, helping, enabling our partners to jump on those opportunities, be more agile. And so that will be our continued focus. And as we get more customers and customers do better, we'll thrive. We'll continue to thrive.
Excellent. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Mathijs, it was a really great talk, and we got a really, really large number of great insights about building a successful business. And we are done. If you stuck with us until the end, here are a few key takeaways from this episode that I want you to remember. Number 1, provide your users with top-notch customer support. That's the difference between a good company and an exceptional one. Number 2, building a business is all about testing and learning. You shouldn't regret doing something and failing, but failing to do something you knew was the right thing to do. And number 3, don't just look at your users as customers, but as partners, and help them grow, because the more they grow, the more you grow. The more they grow, the more you grow. Now, before you sign off, don't forget to subscribe so you get notified when we publish new episodes. And leave us a review if you enjoyed the podcast and learned something new. It will be highly appreciated. Also, if you want to be a guest on the show, shoot me an email or hit me up on LinkedIn. My contact info is down in the description. And that's it. I'm Dorian, you've been listening to Highway to Scale, and I'll see you all in the next episode.